Wọ́n á rọ gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú tó fẹ́ pa nínú ètò ìdìbò náà láti fi aṣojú méjì ránṣẹ́ níbi ìpàdé àpérò náà. Èyí ṣe pàtàkì nítorí kí a bá lè tẹ̀lé àṣẹ tí ó rọ̀ mọ́ òfin COVID-19. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀. Olùkéde arákùnrin Babátúndé Òṣìbódù, alága àjọ elétò ìdìbò nípínlẹ̀ Ògùn.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على
Ìrun pípè tí ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbọ́tọ̀ yìí ni Alhaja Lady K Bookshop Ṣàpọ́n Abẹ́òkúta ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ ní ìrántí Bàbá Àdìsá Mustapha aka Ara Ènìyàn Nírèwà Onífàájì àti Màmá Olúwakẹ́mi Àjíkẹ́ Mustapha aka Ìyá Ṣẹ̀rí Ológùrọ̀ ní ìlú Ìjẹ̀mọ̀. Kí Ọlọ́run fi wọ́n sí àlùjánnà onídẹ̀ra. Àmín.
On the news tonight, President Buhari urges media professionals to wield freedom responsibly at the World March 2021 Press Freedom Day. Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 announces measures to protect Nigeria from the deadly variant of COVID-19. Plus, highlight of happenings in Ogun State in the outgone week. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the News at 7, coming to you from Nta Channel 12, Abeokuta. I am Yemi Dalemo with the news. As the world marked World Press Freedom Day, President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration is committed to freedom of the press, but urges media professionals to wield freedom responsibly and without licentiousness. In a statement by his media advisor, Femi Adesina, Celebrating the landmark day with the media, the president notes that the freedom of the press is an irreducible minimum in the democracy that would flourish. He says the fact that everything is permitted does not mean that there are no rules of correctness, particularly in a polity seriously challenged as Nigeria's. The media, he emphasizes, must be sensitive to what the country is going through as a country, saying anything that would aggravate the situation and further inflame passions and emotions should be avoided. President Buhari pledges greater cooperation with the media to discharge its duties in line with the theme of this year's World Press Freedom Day, information as a public good, urging those who manage information for government to do everything in public interest. Ola Awoniyi, Senator Lawan noted that the May 3rd is set aside every year to remind governments around the world of their obligation to facilitate and respect press freedom, and also to remind journalists of the need to respect the ethics of their profession. The president of the Senate observed that Nigeria has a vibrant media that has always resolutely defended freedom of the speech, which enables journalists to effectively discharge their roles as the watchdog of the society and the fourth estate of the realm. Senator Lawan stressed that the Ninth Senate and the National Assembly in general will never pass any law that will inhibit the freedom of the press, but rather work with the media to further enhance the practice of the profession. The global challenges the world have faced during the COVID-19 pandemic underline the critical role of reliable, verified, and universally accessible information in saving lives and building strong and resilient society. Secretary General of the United Nations Antonio Guterres said it at the World Marks 2021 World Press Freedom Day. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday has more on that report.
Freedom of expression and press freedom, analysts say, are critical to the successful implementation of good governance and human rights around the world. In commemorating the day, the UN scribe in a video message said, information as a public good is a call to affirm the importance of cherishing information and exploring what can be done in the production, distribution, and reception of content to strengthen journalism.
Journalists and media workers help us navigate a fast-changing and often overwhelming landscape of information, while addressing dangerous inaccuracies and falsehoods. In too many countries, they run great personal risk, including new restrictions, censorship, abuse, harassment, detention, and even death, simply for doing their jobs. And the situation continues to worsen. The economic impact of the pandemic has hit many media outlets hard, threatening their very survival. As budget tightens, so too does access to reliable information. Rumors, falsehoods, and the extreme or divisive opinions surge in to fill the gap.
Antonio Guterres said both freedoms were essential for the shaping of a new global sustainable development agenda.
I urge all governments to do everything in their power to support a free, independent, and diverse media. Free and independent journalism is our greatest ally in combating misinformation and disinformation. The United Nations Plan of Action on the Safety of Journalists aims to create a safe environment for media workers across the globe because information is a public good.
Steps to ensure the economic viability of news media, mechanism for ensuring transparency of internet companies, as well as defend and demand journalism as a vital part of information as a public good are some of the highlights of the day. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 has announced some measures taken to protect Nigeria from the deadly variants of COVID-19. A statement from the chairman of the PSC and the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says after a risk assessment, an interim travel advisory has been issued on passengers and airlines from India, Turkey, and Brazil as precautionary measures to minimize the risk of a surge in COVID-19 cases in Nigeria. Reduction of the validity period of pre-boarding COVID-19 PCR tests for all passengers, Nigeria-bound passengers, from 96 hours to 72 hours. Henceforth, PCR test results older than 72 hours before departure shall not be accepted. from these countries. Any person who visited Brazil, India, or Turkey within 14 days preceding travel to Nigeria shall be denied entry into Nigeria. This, however, does not apply to passengers who transited through these countries. Airlines and passengers who fail to comply with the regulations shall mandatorily pay a penalty of $3,500 for each defaulting passenger. Non-Nigerians will be denied entry and return to the country of embarkation at cost to the airline. Nigerians and those with permanent residence permits shall undergo 7 days of mandatory quarantine in a government-approved facility at the point of entry city at a cost to the passenger. Other measures announced by the PSC include passengers taking COVID-19 PCR test within 24 hours of arrival. If positive, the passenger shall be admitted within a government-approved treatment center in line with the national treatment protocol. If negative, the passenger shall continue to remain in the quarantine and made to undergo a repeat PCR test on day 7 of their quarantine. While expressing Nigeria's commitment on fishing support and solidarity with all countries to stop the pandemic, effort to safeguard the health of the Nigerian population as well as to minimize the risk of a surge in the number of COVID-19 cases in the country necessitated the measures. The statement urged Nigerians to continue to observe non-pharmaceutical protocols to keep the virus away from them. To Kano State now. Kano State government has approved the extension of service year for all teaching staff at all levels. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje disclosed this at an award dinner to commemorate 2021 Workers' Day. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
Due to COVID-19 pandemic, Ramadan fast and high temperatures, normal activities for the commemoration of the 2021 Workers' Day were suspended by the Kano State Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Instead, a get-together to reflect on success stories and challenges was organized. It was also used to honor civil servants and labor leaders who distinguished themselves through selfless service. Alleged unfriendly labor relations in the private sector was equally brought to the fore and was among the demands presented to the government for intervention.
Attempt for the unionization of workers in some of the private sector organizations in the state is usually truncated.
Governor Ganduje, who assured of immediate action on labor's plight, also announced approval for the extension of teachers' service years and age limit.
We have decided to increase the retirement age from 60 to 65. And this also applies to our lecturers in tertiary institutions.
He assured that government will support civil servants in the state towards securing agricultural loans and grants from federal agencies. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, has approved the renaming of the ongoing counter-insurgency operation in the northeast from Operation Lafia Dole to Operation Adinkai. A statement by Director Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Muhammad Yarima, says this is premised on the fact that the Nigerian Army has made a lot of progress over the years and needs to realign for better efficiency. Similarly, with the designation of the Army Super Camps, which now reflect the nomenclature of the formations and units, followed by the name of the locations they occupy, while sub-units are redesigned as forward operating bases, followed by the name of their locations. All these changes are with immediate effect. Brigadier General Yorima notes that the renaming is in line with the Chief of Army Staff's vision of having a Nigerian army that is repositioned to professionally defeat all adversaries in a joint environment. Let's remind you that you are still on to NTA Channel 12 News at 7. The news will continue shortly after this timeout. Stay with us.
When you come into the Glow Cafe, you're in for a world of treats. Not only can you monitor all your voice and data usage with ease, buy, share, borrow, and gift data and airtime in the smoothest ways, pay for any services of your choice using your airtime or your bank card, and manage or change your tariff plan to any plan you prefer seamlessly, You can also add friends, get sweet rewards, and so much more. Oh, and don't forget, if you ever need to recharge outside the Glow Cafe app, just dial star 805 hash to purchase airtime or data through your bank. So, step into your Glow Cafe today.
Just dial star 777 hash or download the Glow Cafe app today.
Imagine the joy that fills your heart when you have just given birth. Whatever your size, we got you.
What of the grandmother?
Mama, what is baby?
With our Buy Right chat, you can get the best mattress that goes with your body weight. Don't just buy a mattress, buy a Vitafoam mattress.
The name of the baby is Stella.
Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Announcement. The Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission has released the timetable for the elections into the offices of chairman and councillorship in the 20 local governments of Ogun State. The elections are scheduled to take place on Saturday, the 24th July 2021, and as part of the Commission's efforts to ensure a free and fair electoral process, a press briefing will come up on Tuesday, 4th of May 2021 at the Cinema Hall, June 12 Cultural Center, Nta Abeokuta at 10 a.m. prompt. At the briefing, the Commission will unveil the electoral guidelines for the elections to all political parties and the general public. All registered political parties wishing to participate in the forthcoming elections are hereby requested to present not more than 2 representatives to attend the briefing. The restriction in the number of representatives is to enable the strict observance of the COVID-19 protocols. Announcer, Mr. Babatunde Oshibodu, Chairman, Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission.
Welcome back, and the news continues. INEC office in SN Udim, local government area of Akwa Ibom State, has been set ablaze in the early hours of today. INEC National Commissioner for Information Festus Okoye, who confirmed the incident, says 345 ballot boxes, 135 voting cubicles, megaphones, water tanks, and office furniture were destroyed. The resident electoral commissioner for Akwa Ibom State, Mike Igini, who reported the incident to the INEC national headquarters, however, said the security guard on duty escaped unhurt. INEC says if such attacks are not checked, it may constitute a setback on the commission's preparations, including the ongoing conversion of voting points to polling units, the forthcoming continuous registration of voters exercise, and the conduct of polls. Ogun NLC organizes symposium on May Day, and Ogun State Police Command arrest abductors of 2 OOU female students will be some of our leading stories on this edition of Week in Review with Muyiwa Omoumi. Muyiwa, over to you.
NLC organized symposium on May Day will be our lead story. Nigerian labor leaders have been advised to empower their members with required knowledge on how to cope with the reality of the new normal occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic. This formed part of the discussion at a symposium organized by the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ogun State Council, in commemoration of this year's May Day celebration.
So we are only employing governments to look into policies that will help us to go with the global world as the trends in the whole world moves.
Even when you look at the life of an average Nigerian worker, it's precarious. It's not the best of life. When you're not talking about a casual employer, well, it's like a leper in the employment environment.
Still from our last week bulletin, the immediate past general manager, Ogun State Television, OGTV, Abeokuta, Basharun Festus Oladiji Kende, has rolled out the drums to celebrate his 60th birthday and retirement from public service with a special Thanksgiving service held at the Holy Trinity Church, Bagura, Abeokuta.
He's a vibrant person, hard work, very dedicated and committed. He's a professional to the core, and he's somebody that carries his colleague whenever there is any work to do. And I know that we are going to miss him. As he retires, I wish him long life, rest of mind, strength to enjoy the retirement. I also congratulate his wife and his children because now is the time they're going to enjoy him.
He has shown me mercies. He has been so kind to me. And I thank him. It's God all the way. God all the way. From the initial, when I was born, up till today, it has always been God helping me, assisting me, and getting my career to help me achieve the lofty height that I achieved.
Ogwenesede's Foundation for Central Mosque was also one of the major stories in the outcome week in our news bulletin. Nigerians, irrespective of their religious afflictions, have been advised to live in harmony with one another and intensify prayers as pivotal to peaceful coexistence in Nigeria. An Islamic scholar, Professor Abdulkamal Balogun, stated this at the foundation-laying ceremony of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Central Mosque, Abeokuta.
The idea is even the country itself is, yes, secular by nature, by constitution. It's a way of saying that, yes, we believe in our strength, we believe in our skills, we believe in our training, yet we also believe that God has a role to play in our lives.
Now to security reports. Ogun State Police Command said abductors of 2 female students of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agowi, have been arrested. The police said the suspected kidnappers were arrested 2 days after the kidnapped students were released.
No CP will sleep, no IG will sleep within the level of insecurity we are having in this country. Then another one will be causing us pain. For what? So if he's the one, if the one has to go and chase a kidnapper now, you see a kidnapper in the bush and collect the ransom from him and escape, and you call yourself a police officer? No, it's a noble job.
With that story from the Ogun State Police Command, that will be a package on this edition of Week in Review.
Thank you, Muiwa. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for today, the 2nd of May, year 2021. We thank you for watching. Have a great week ahead.
Bí àjọ àgbáyé ti ń sàmì àyájọ́ òmìnira àwọn akọ̀ròyìn, aláṣẹ Muhammadu Buhari ké sí àwọn akọ̀ròyìn láti ṣe àmúlò òmìnira náà pẹ̀lú ìdúróṣinṣin. Ìgbìmọ̀ ààrẹ lórí àrùn COVID-19 gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti dènà ìtànkálẹ̀ àrùn COVID-19 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Ẹ káalẹ́, ẹ kú ìsinmi òní. Olúwakẹ́mi Ọ̀rúnṣolú Síkírù ní orúkọ tèmi. Ìròyìn náà rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Aláṣẹ Muhammadu Buhari ti sọ pé ìṣàkóso rẹ̀ fi àyè gba òmìnira fún àwọn akọ̀ròyìn, àmọ́ kí wọ́n rí wípé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ bí iṣẹ́. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde tí olùdámọ̀ràn pàtàkì sí aláṣẹ lórí ìròyìn Fẹ́mi Adésínà fi síta, ó ṣàlàyé pé aláṣẹ fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé òmìnira àwọn akọ̀ròyìn jẹ́ ohun kan gbòógì tí kò ṣeé fọwọ́ rọ́ sẹ́yìn ní àwùjọ tó ní í ṣe pẹ̀lú ìjọba àwaarawa. bí wọ́n ti ń ké sí àwọn akọ̀ròyìn láti rí òmìnira náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀nà láti mú ìṣọ̀kan bá orílẹ̀-èdè nípa yíyàgò fún àwọn ohun tí ó lè mú ìlú le sí i. Bákan náà, ààrẹ ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àgbà lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí Ahmad Lawan ti bá àwọn akọ̀ròyìn yọ̀ lórí àyájọ́ òmìnira fún àwọn akọ̀ròyìn lágbàáyé. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde tí olùdámọ̀ràn sí ààrẹ ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àpapọ̀ Ọlá Awóníyì fi síta, ó ṣàlàyé pé aṣòfin àgbà Lawan fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé àyájọ́ òmìnira fún àwọn akọ̀ròyìn jẹ́ ọjọ́ kan pàtó tó rán ìjọba létí òmìnira àwọn akọ̀ròyìn àti pàápàá ó jẹ́ ìrántí fún àwọn akọ̀ròyìn láti bọ̀wọ̀ fún iṣẹ́ wọn. Ààrẹ ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ náà ṣe ìlérí pé ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ náà yóò máa fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn akọ̀ròyìn nínú ohun gbogbo. Ìgbìmọ̀ tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ COVID-19 lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti kéde àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tuntun COVID-19 nínú àtẹ̀jáde tí alága ìgbìmọ̀ náà àti ẹni tó jẹ́ akọ̀wé fún ìjọba àpapọ̀ Boss Mustapha fi sóde. Ó ṣàlàyé pé lẹ́yìn àgbéyẹ̀wò ewu gbogbo lórí àwọn arìnrìn-àjò láti orílẹ̀-èdè India, Turkey àti Brazil yóò gba abẹ́ ìlànà kọ̀ọ̀kan kọjá kí wọ́n tó lè wọ ìlú wá láti dènà ìtànkálẹ̀ àrùn COVID-19 lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Bákan náà ni ìkéde ọ̀hún tún fi kún wípé ẹnikẹ́ni tí wọ́n bá ṣe àyẹ̀wò fún tí ó bá ní àrùn COVID-19 yóò wà ní ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba fún ìtọ́jú. Nígbà tí ó ti di dandan fún àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tí wọ́n darí wọ ìlú láti wà ní ìgbélé ní ààyè tí ìjọba bá pèsè fún wọn fún ọjọ́ 7 gbáko. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kano ti buwọ́lu àfikún gbèdéke àkókò tí àwọn olùkọ́ ń lò lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ọba. Gómìnà Abdullahi Umar Ganduje ló kéde èyí lásìkò ayẹyẹ ìmọrírì àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ nípìnlẹ̀ náà. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Abdullahi Mustapha jábọ̀ ìròyìn pé ayẹyẹ ọ̀hún ló mọrírì àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ fún iṣẹ́ takuntakun wọn lákòókò COVID-19. Ó ṣàlàyé pé àfikún àkókò iṣẹ́ ọ̀hún fún àwọn olùkọ́ yóò
in your own image. You created all things. You created all things. You created all things in your own image. How can I live without your love? Your love is so sweet. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You're my everything. You're my everything. You're my all in all. You created all things. You created all things. You created all things.